Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I really need to tell you this story. There are moments in our lives that defy logic, and there are moments that defy it so well that they explain it. That's what happened when my dear sister Sylvia Severance asked me to read the prayers for at the burial, at the internment of her husband Jake. Jake and Sylvia are a class of people all to themselves. They are amazing. Sylvia is a copy editor for many years of children's books, and Jake was an author of young adult history. He's also a brilliant artist, a sailor, a traveler, a raconteur. He was amazing. And I didn't know him until I guess the last however many years. They were at the church before I was there, but we got to know each other a little bit better through the pandemic, through Facebook, and commenting back and forth about civil rights and issues of diversity and belonging and what have you. Anyway, I was blessed when Sylvia asked me to read those prayers. That was my first time doing it. And I didn't know what to expect, so I talked it through with Michael, and I asked, would it be okay if I sing Precious Lord? Because, one time I met them in the airport, and they were on their way to a civil rights tour through Alabama and Mississippi. And I was on my way to work, and Jake was like, no, you need to come with us. I was like, okay, well, next time. It's not how the airports work anymore. Anyway, I got to meet his daughters, who amazing. They both read and shared at the memorial service, and it was pure poetry. They are their father's children. And I got to the cemetery, and they met me, and the location of the mausoleum where the ashes are interred was absolutely beautiful. There was a river next to it, right next to the river, and trees, beautiful trees. We have beautiful cemeteries here in Savannah. The trees were amazing. Anyway, they were sharing stories, and they shared a story about how as Jake was leaving, as he was doing his walk home, he would kind of say things that didn't make any sense. And he said, it's not time. I still don't see the people by the door. And he said, there's those people by the door. They're right there. And so they said, as they were having the undertaker come in to remove his physical form, they were huddled by the door so that the gurney could get through. And one of the daughters said, oh my goodness, we are the people by the door. Then at the interment service, now, by the way, I asked Sylvia if it was okay to share these, and she said absolutely. At the interment service, Sylvia shared with me a video of him talking, and he said he saw Santa Claus, and he said, yeah, no, there's a Santa Claus. And so she said, Santa Claus? And she said, well, what is he talking about? But hanging on the different compartments of the mausoleum in the middle of middle of May, was a Santa Claus. And it felt as if he was seeing into the later. What would be later to us was the future for him. And he was able to see. And as we left, I looked to the right, and there was a sailboat going down the river. And he was a sailor. He loved to sail. His children described sitting and watching the sunset as they sailed. Growing up sailing, and his brother shared a story of traveling down into Mexico in their car and just going into, just places that most people would never go, and seeing things and meeting people that most people would never meet. He was an explorer. He was a traveler. And yet, in those last days, he explored into the future that others would see. I have a friend, a brother at church, Reverend Todd Smelser, who shared his doctoral thesis with me. And it talked about clergy being luminal mediators, that we kind of stand between the earth realm and the heavenly realm, helping to usher in the experience of as above, so below. And I know it's true. And I've been able to experience a week before ordination, a week after, 2 weeks after, this mediation done by those who were crossing over, first with Bernita and then with Jake, that they were able to show and point to the fact that there is more, that we are all connected and we are connected to the all. And if we stop for a moment and take a journey into what I call Black World, that corner of heaven where the living and the dead can converse, where every day I send up the timber. If we take a moment to peek into it, we'll know what that amazing mystic Julian of Norwich told us, that all will be well, and all will be well, and all manner of things shall be well. The missing we do is what we do with our natural self. But love never leaves. It simply shows us the way. It points to the people in the corner by the door who are you. It points to an auspicious Santa Claus in the middle of May that gives a sign that this has to be true, because where would you find a Santa Claus in a high-class cemetery in the middle of May? One of the characters in a novel that I wrote said, God be real, spirit be real, love be real. And all the chaos and the torment and the stuff around us is the stuff we make up. And then we ask questions like, why does God allow this? It's that whole free will thing. But God is real. I love you.